World Network. And it is Monday again. It's amazing how fast the time flies. Today's topic is wonder and how it has the ability to really transform our experience of living. But before we get started, let's just take a minute or two to get settled in and present. Let's take a deep breath in through your nose and hold it. And imagine sparkling, clean, crisp oxygen flooding into your lungs and into your bloodstream and nourishing your cells and your organs and bringing life and vitality into every corner of your body. And as you exhale any stress or tension. And now let's take another deep breath in through your nose. This time, hold it and imagine that it is brilliant, bright light, lighting you up, every molecule, every electron, and electrifying and energizing you inside and out and connecting you with the world beyond. And as you exhale any tension, any stress. And now let's just gently press our palms together and really softly, softly rub your fingers against your palms and feel how wonderful it is to have that sensation and that just deliciousness, and bring yourselves present to your bodies right here, right now. It's great to be here with you. Hello, Rosalind. Welcome, welcome, and welcome to everybody else who's joining us. And we're going to talk today about wonder. So over the weekend, I saw the most remarkable movie. I can't recommend it enough. It's called My Octopus Teacher. And it was put together by a man. Well, he's a photographer, and I actually don't even know his name, I'm embarrassed to say. But he was experiencing a real crisis of the soul, just feeling lost and deep loss of purpose, and what he had built his life around just sort of felt like it wasn't as meaningful to him anymore, and he just was floundering. And so he started diving and spending more time in the water. And good morning, Dido. Welcome. It's great to be here with you. Thank you. So I'm talking about the movie My Octopus Teacher. If you haven't seen it, please check it out. It's just remarkable. And so in his diving, he's exploring this underwater world, and he meets an octopus. And over time, he visited the same area. He came up with the idea that maybe if he showed up every day regularly and became an active part of her environment, that perhaps they could cultivate some, just to explore and see what would happen. And what happened was really, really remarkable, where this octopus befriended him and literally reached out to him, and they had physical contact, and they developed this amazing relationship. And it took place over the course of almost a year. And apparently the lifespan of an octopus is about a year. So he was there for about 80% of her life. Dido says, yes, I've seen My Octopus Teacher, and I loved it. Absolutely. It's remarkable. And so it was in seeing this movie that it rekindled, like, I don't know about you, but I could not help falling in love with this octopus as well. Just a remarkable creature. And the magic of that whole, it just makes me tear up. The magic of that relationship and that capacity for us to connect with nature. One of the things that he said in the movie that was so powerful was that he experienced being part of nature, not an observer, just being part of this bigger thing. And what I came away with from the experience of watching that movie was wonder. Just this incredible sense of awe and wonder and curiosity and open-heartedness, and the power of really being able to connect with our world as a place where we're in engagement, where we're in relationship. And it was amazing to see how through this man's relationship and dedication actually to getting to know this creature, and um, how it gave him back his life, how it gave him back energy to be connecting with nature on a regular basis, to be involved in this exploration and evolution of communion with nature and the natural world. Good afternoon, Hope. Hope says, hello, good afternoon, everybody. I saw it last week, was truly amazing. The connection that he made was amazing. I agree 100%. I mean, he, at one point in the film, he dropped a piece of equipment and it frightened the octopus, and she just disappeared, and he spent days looking for her, and he ultimately found her, and they just cultivated this incredible relationship. And um, it was so profoundly magical and beautiful. And there's a scene where he's actually holding the octopus in the water. He's snorkeling, and so it's near the surface, and he's petting the octopus, and she's just laying on his chest. It's just the most remarkable thing. And watching her play with the fish, like literally just play with the fish, not hunting, just being playful, and to be able to see into nature from the lens of wonder and connection, and to realize that that is nature, is the source of our vitality and our experience of life. You know, we get, I think it's so easy to get disconnected, and to believe that this kind of experience is something unique, rather than something that's available to us in some capacity on a daily basis. Like recently, I'm a little bit of a mushroom nerd. I don't know very much, unfortunately, but I'm fascinated by mushrooms. And this past fall was incredible, and I went outside every day to go and see the mushrooms that were showing up in my yard, and it was magical. It was amazing, and it was wonderful, full of wonder for me to be able to be witnessing and experiencing, and I felt almost like there was this participation, like this engagement, you know, where I'd be exploring, and these mushrooms were just hiding in plain sight. You know, it just took a refined eye to be able to start seeing the things that were there. You know, they're sitting right there, but initially, until I really started looking differently, then I, I I didn't see them until I honed myself or tuned myself into to be, well, he said in the movie, like he was thinking like an octopus, and I started sort of thinking like a mushroom, like where would I be? And then all of a sudden I started seeing these mushrooms. And so there's a wonder that grants us a certain inroad to experience of nature and of ourselves, because there was, for me with the mushrooms, and I think for him with the octopus, there was like a deep love and appreciation that that got cultivated, and a curiosity and excitement, a sense of wonder, to be just in awe of of the the magic that is available to us when we open ourselves to it. And so I I I think that the movie was so profound, partly because it gave us an insight into the um, oh, it's so funny, I'm going to use this word, the humanity of animals. And I'm going to say it that way because, not because animals are human, but because we have this sense of human beings being the creatures that have emotions and affinities. Of course, we know better. I mean, all creatures do. And the interesting thing is that maybe it is that when we connect with the natural world in a deeper way, then we experience our humanity more fully. Maybe that's a better way to say it, because I don't want to make it all about humans by any means. But what was so magical about that film, My Octopus Teacher, was that we got to see that we're not the only ones, in a really, really, really deep way. And I always find it fascinating when people try to talk about animals as if they don't have thoughts and feelings. Of course they do. Of course they do. And this here, we learned that about an octopus. And I don't know if any of you eat octopus. I have eaten octopus in the past. I wouldn't, and now I wouldn't, because I'm vegan. But after seeing that movie, I couldn't ever eat octopus again. And and by extension, we look at the other forms of life on the planet that we live with, and there's such deep wisdom and connection available on so many levels, like that when we connect ourselves to the wonder of it, it has the capacity to revitalize us and recenter us and give us the sense of richer, deeper belonging, rather than being external observers, to see ourselves as part of nature rather than in ownership of it in some way. As we recognize that we're part of a bigger ecosystem, then it has to shift our perception and our intentions and our relationship with that ecosystem, right? Like when we recognize how deeply connected we are with nature, we can't abuse it in the way that we could if we considered that we have dominion, or we're separate, or we somehow view it as a resource. So Hope says, same here, never eat octopus again. And I'm not yet quite vegan. It's a process I'm adapting to. Well, Hope, I love that you said that. It is a process. It is a process to move into being vegetarian and to being vegan. it's a process of connection. For me, it started, well, first of all, I came from a very heavily meat eating family where my vegetarianism was looked at as an aberration. But when I was a kid, for a science fair, um, for a science fair, I hatched some chickens, and they were my buddies. They were my pets. They were my friends. And at one time at dinner, we were all eating chicken and we're all spitting out bones. And here I had these pets, my friends, the chickens, and I felt like a cannibal. I was horrified. I was horrified. Dido says, I'd never eat octopus either, especially now. Exactly. I mean, oh, so here I was at the dinner table as a kid, spitting bones and of chickens, and my buddies were chickens, and I felt like a cannibal. And it's interesting because over the weekend I also watched another movie. This was a self-care weekend and kind of a vegetable weekend for me, where I got to just indulge myself because I really have needed some self-care. So another movie that I watched was called um, Vegan Everyday Stories. And why was I telling you this? Oh, I was talking about the chickens. And in the beginning of that movie, there's a, a woman who's holding her chicken. She came from a beef ranch, um, a cattle ranch where they would slaughter the cows, or raise the cows for slaughter. And at one point she said to her husband, no more, this isn't happening anymore. And she started an animal sanctuary. So in the beginning, it was her holding this chicken and talking about how this chicken one day was lame, and she brought her into the house and she started feeding her a supplement that she used for her own health, and the chicken was getting better. And she also had that revelation, like here she's creating this whole relationship with this chicken and really getting to know this chicken as a sentient being with feelings and thoughts. And that was the end of the cattle ranch. I mean, it got transformed in Texas. It got transformed to an animal sanctuary. And it's really, really interesting how the wonder of nature, when we allow ourselves to connect and be part, when we allow ourselves to be present, even like to plants, to trees, to the wonder all around us, to mushrooms on the lawn, when we get when we allow ourselves to slow down enough to really be present, the wonder of the world just feeds our heart and soul so richly, right? When I think of the octopus, I just tear up, to it's crazy that we can be as disconnected as we are, right? When we can watch a movie like that and cultivate a sense of appreciation and awe and wonder about nature. I see, and I don't know if it's just me that sees this, but I see a change in our sensibilities around animals and their consciousness and their sensibilities. Good morning, Gina. Welcome, welcome. So good to have you here. Um, so, I like I, you, there have been other times when hunting and trophy gathering was really a respected sport. And I remember not very long ago, of course, I'm not really well rooted in time, so I don't know how long ago it was, but there was a lion on a preserve, I think in Africa, I believe. And this lion was, I think, the oldest lion on the preserve, and it was a revered soul. And some trophy hunter shot this lion, paid to have a guide on a safari, and shot and killed this lion for a trophy. And there was such an uprising around that incident, as I believe there should be. But um, it's a testament to the shift in sensibility that has been occurring globally, where we are looking to stop poachers, and we are looking to stop the wholesale murder of elephants for ivory and rhinoceroses for their horns, and we are becoming globally more conscious of conservation of natural resources and respect for animals and nature. And I think the thing that also drives that further is our ability and our growing consciousness, our growing ability to connect with the world around us, instead of being driven by the expectation of domination, that we realize, I hope, more and more anyway, I think, we realize how bankrupt this domination concept is when it comes to nature, and are looking to create a more integrative relationship with it out of necessity. And the thing is that when we are more integrated, when we are connected to that experience of wonder and awe, it nourishes us. So as we connect more deeply with nature, we are nourished by it, versus abusing nature and feeling a deep sense of separation. So I think it takes a deliberate and conscious choice to connect to nature in our world that is built in a way, in our cities anyway, where we're very much separate from nature. And I think more and more, even architects are recognizing, and city planners, how the industrialization and the separation from nature takes a profound toll on well-being. We know that, I know that studies have been done about having plants in your environment, and the connection with a plant makes a difference, makes, it shifts our experience, to be able to see something living and growing and connect to the wonder of those things. So there are so many ways that we can experience wonder, but nature is the absolutely most abundant source for that experience that I know. And that just, there is something very transcendent and transmutive about the experience of wonder and awe. And it elevates us, and it opens our hearts and it is renewing and regenerative. And I invite you today to take some time to experience that wonder, to just slow down enough to even just, if you have houseplants, even just connect with your houseplants and just observe them and look at how freaking miraculous it is that these things are growing and you just water them. I mean, that's insane when you think about it, that's how things work. It's truly magical and wonderful. And when we fill ourselves with wonder, then our whole experience of life is lighter and more vital. And so that's today's invitation, is to cultivate that wonder in yourself, and that will connect you to the essence of life, I believe. So with that, I'm Mira Rubin. This is the Core Connection, and I am here on Enlightened World Network's Facebook page every weekday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. And I invite you to check out all the awesome people and programs that are on Enlightened World Network's Facebook page. And until next time, lots and lots and lots of love, and give yourself the opportunity today to really bask in the